Hello everyone, my name is Ellen and welcome to my channel where we get creative with everything art, design, DIY, and lifestyle related. Today's video will be about searching for a wedding venue and questions you may want to ask during that process. Now, full disclosure, I am not a wedding planner. I am, however, planning my wedding. I have a bachelor's degree in graphic design, and I love making things and designing things. So here we are. I am planning what I consider to be a budget wedding. I consider a budget wedding to be something that is within the range of $20,000 or less. This may not be popular opinion. This is more my opinion, but seeing as the average wedding in America costs about $34,000, according to Google, I would say $20,000 is probably budget range. Also, if you see me looking over every now and then, it's because I'm referencing my notes that I took for all of you. So yeah. All right, so some suggestions that I have for when you start the whole venue searching process. Have a date set. I didn't have a date yet, and that really complicated things for me because I would find really cool venues and I'd want to ask questions about them, but unless I had a date, I couldn't even inquire about the location. Also, know what your budget is. Know what you can afford. Another suggestion would be to visit more than one venue in your price range. The first venue you visit might be amazing and you might fall in love with it, but who's to say the next one isn't the one that you would love even more? So check out more than one. I actually checked out 2 or 3 before I made a final decision. The last one I visited is the one that I loved the most. You could also consider having a church wedding and having the reception elsewhere. This can be a big budget saver, especially if you're already part of a church and you have family and friends and that community of people who can help you put things together and get things in place. Another thing you may want to check out are state parks. I have a friend who's getting married next year in a state park and it's absolutely gorgeous. I think they're only charging her like $300 or $400 for the use of the facility, under the stipulation that she cleans everything up after it's all over. So there are certain caveats to using state parks. You'll have to do your research. Another thing to do is ask family and friends if they know of any great venues in the area. I actually found my venue because one of my bridesmaids lived near that venue and was like, you should go check it out. Another thing you could consider if you're like me and you're on a budget is doing a backyard wedding. There are a lot of different issues that you can run into with this, and it can get expensive if you don't play your cards right, but it's definitely something that you could consider if you live in a less populated area and have the space to do so. All right, on to the questions that you may want to ask when you visit venues. One of the first questions I asked was, can I have my ceremony both outside or inside? I really want to have an outdoor ceremony, weather permitting, but I didn't want to be concerned about rain. Question number 2, ask if they have an on-site caterer, and if they do you have to use that caterer? They may also require that you choose a preferred vendor from a list, which is actually the way that my venue was. I didn't mind that so much because I got to choose a caterer that I really loved. But if you find a venue that has only one caterer and you don't like the food that much, and food is really important to you, then you may want to consider looking somewhere else. Price also is a huge factor there because their catering company may charge a lot of money. Question number 3, can the bridal party get ready on site? This is really important to a lot of people, especially from the standpoint of photography. If you want really good photos of you and your bridal party getting ready, or even the guys, it's good to know that you'll have a bridal suite to go to and put your makeup on, do your hair, get ready, and get those really nice, well-lit photographs. Question number 4, is the venue wheelchair or handicap accessible? I came across 2 venues in my search that were not wheelchair accessible, and it's because they were historic buildings. There are a lot of wedding venues that are historic buildings and are not required to put elevators in. Question number 5, what is the venue's max capacity? That one is pretty self-explanatory. Question number 6, and this is something that I didn't know about until I actually rented out a venue. Does the venue provide event insurance? My venue does not, and that is something that my fiance and I will have to take care of. It's just something to put on your radar and ask about because it may be something to add to your checklist of things to do before the wedding rolls around. Question number 7, does the venue have any videography or photography restrictions? Some venues may not like photographers taking photos in certain areas or going in certain areas, so that's something you'll want to check. Also, do they allow drone videography? Because certain venues may not want a craft flying around their property. Question number 8, what are the venue's noise restrictions? Some venues will let you keep the amps on until midnight, while others will have you turn them down by 10 or 11, depending on the venue. Question number 9, and this is a big one for me because I am the definition of a DIY bride. I love decorations and I love making them. Does the venue that you choose allow you to decorate? Where can you decorate? What kind of decorations can you put up? Number 10, does the venue allow candles, sparklers, or fireworks? Some venues don't allow open flames, and if you really like the look of actual candles in your centerpieces and the beautiful photos that could come from a sparkler send-off, then you might want to consider finding a venue that allows that. Number 11, does the venue provide tables and chairs in the total package, or are they going to charge you an additional fee for those items? I was really adamant that I find a venue that didn't charge me extra for tables and chairs, or a venue that didn't even provide them at all, because that's an extra fee that gets tacked on later that can actually get really expensive. People need places to sit. We made it to the end of the list. Question number 12. You may want to ask the venue if they allow you to purchase additional hours either to tack on to the beginning before the ceremony so that you have additional time to get ready, do a first look, get some of those family portraits out of the way so that there's less stress later on in the day. Or maybe you want an additional hour at the end so you have extra time to dance. Just something you may want to consider as you're searching for a venue. I'd like to thank all of you for going through this list with me, and if I missed anything, if there are any questions that you had to ask when you were searching for your venue or questions that you've been asking recently in your venue search, please add them in the comment section and let me know, because I'm really curious to know about your wedding planning process and everything that you learned, because that may be helpful to me or someone else who's reading all of that. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please like my video and subscribe to my channel. I will be posting videos weekly. This was more of an informational video, but I'll also be posting some cool DIY videos in the future. And a lot of them will have some relevance to my wedding planning process. And I would love for you to join me on my DIY wedding planning adventure. Thanks again for watching. Bye.